I've really tried watching a lot of basketball this season, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if it's just me, I don't know if it's because I'm heavier into football right now. The NBA is like low-key unwatchable for me right now. I check out after like a quarter of watching. Like it's like low-key boring to me.
Guys, today I want to talk about will we ever get bored of sports? Because when we see the way the NFL and the NBA is currently set up right now, every year we have almost the same teams going to championships and winning championships. And even looking at the championship structure and the league structure, it all seems very repetitive. And it kind of brought this question upon me as to whether or not we will ever get bored of the way sports is being played in the United States. Now, there are a couple of reasons I want to go over that could have led to people thinking sports is getting more boring. First of all, let's look at the switch in the way games are being played.
2 seasons of where the shots were taken from. Top is 1999 to 2000, and the bottom is 2022 to 2023. What are you noticing? Analytics, guys. Analytics took over basketball. They realized the highest value shots were shoot in the paint and shoot threes.
The biggest complaint in basketball is the fact that a lot of players are settling for threes and going into the paint, and that makes the game very boring because you're only playing two aspects of the game. You're only scoring two ways. That makes for a lot of repetition, and when you see that as a fan, it's very predictable. You don't like it. And then when we look at football, y'all, we see the same issue. We see that the game is moving more and more away from defense to more offense favoring the quarterback, which leads to just play, let's just be honest, less intense, less physical games, which makes football as a whole less entertaining.
Football's the same way, but it's with injuries because they want their best players to stay on the field. They want the quarterbacks to stay on the field, which I get because that's the highest value.
Now, I like those two reasons that are out there for why these sports are getting boring. We obviously want more variety in the games that we watch, and we don't want quarterbacks or singular position being overly favored by the officiating. Nobody wants that. But those complaints are just at the surface level. When it comes to really why these sports in the United States are getting boringer and just less enticing to watch, is more so because of the actual way these games are being presented to us on TV. First of all, let's talk about the fact that it's almost impossible to watch these games without pirating them.
Watching sports in the year 2025 is a $50 billion mess. Not only do you have the traditional sports brands like ESPN, NBC, and Fox, and then you have each league's individual broadcasting channels like NBA League Pass, MLB TV, and the NFL Network. Then you have tech giants like Amazon and Apple also wanting to get in on the action.
When we just look at the amount of money an average person has to pay to watch all their favorite sports teams, it's absolutely absurd. The amount of money that we give to these companies with just our attention, guys, is insane. And we don't have a means to watch these games in a better manner. They don't care about the fans that much to give them the ability to just watch games safely and easily and efficiently. But guys, when we actually come back to this question of American sports being boring, it's actually a very American thing. Because one thing you will realize from people outside of the US who try to get into American sports, they complain about commercials a lot.
Now, this is a sport I really wouldn't mind getting into, but I don't know if I'm missing something because I'm finding it boring as shit. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm into more faster-paced games like your football, your rugby union. Lot quicker than this shit, because look.
Guys, I'm gonna share an anecdote with you actually, because I'm not from here. I came from Liberia. My sport was soccer. And the main reason why I couldn't really get into American football to even try it and things like that is because I just thought the game wasn't fluid. I couldn't watch an American football game because it was so boring. I was so used to watching players on the field for 45 minutes being so engaged in the sport. And when I came here and had to adapt to watching those games where every 2 minutes is like a commercial break, it just felt like I was watching an ad and not a game. This is why you can't, as an American, watch these games without drinking something, bro. If it's not the Super Bowl, I can't really take my time and fully focus on a football game. I gotta be playing a video game in the background. I gotta be doing something else because I know half of that game, sometimes more than half of that game, is gonna be shit I don't care about.
We've stopped play again, we're watching commentators, we're going to see adverts again in a moment, and they've not yet been playing 5 minutes. In fact, the first kick of the fucking game, the guy kicks it out of play, and then they have a break. What's all that about?
Now, that was where I stopped to really take a deeper look at this issue when I was researching it. Okay, we have the fact that the games are changing and players are adapting and being more efficient with the way they score. Teams now want to protect quarterbacks, so they're going to create rules that will make the game less defensive to protect their players. Cool. Commercial breaks are an issue. All of these things are bad, but you can still take a deeper look and see how this is affecting every form of media and not just sports. I, for one, find that things like YouTube is getting boringer, TikTok is getting boringer, the entire internet in general is getting more and more boring. And that's a quote I want to share with you guys that will actually get you to understand where I'm coming from. So the quote goes, 15 years ago, the internet was an escape from the real world. Now the real world is an escape from the internet. Guys, this quote, I know it might be cringe, but it relates so much to what we're talking about today, because when we look at American sports and just sports in general, we have it on our smartphone, we have it on Instagram, on TikTok, we have it on YouTube Shorts, we have it everywhere. Sports isn't just for the TV anymore. Sports is everywhere around you. And what happens when you have a lot of familiarity with something, you start to see the negative more. So nowadays, going to watch your favorite sports team or just going to watch sports isn't an escape from your world, because at work you were on your phone watching sports. Even in this video, you're gonna see sports edits, right? You're seeing sports all the time, and that takes away the escape factor of watching these games that we love. So that is going to play a role into how we see sports and how it becomes boring. Another part of this is just also we're getting older. Maybe you were watching sports during the Cam Newton and the Panther era. Maybe you're watching it during the Tom Brady, the Peyton Manning era. Those people aren't in the league no more. If you're watching during the AI era in basketball, you're watching during the prime LeBron era in basketball. A lot of things are changing. And as we get older, we're having to adapt to the new age of sports, to the new stars that are coming in, and that takes effort. It takes a lot more mental energy to acclimate to this new space of sports. And another thing I want to add to this is that, guys, it might not just be sport, all right? It might not just be the internet. It might just be life right now in the United States and in the world, because everything is getting more boring. There's actually a thing going on right now about the world losing color. I'm not playing with y'all.
If you feel like the world has gone from 4K to 1080p, you may be onto something. After the age of 10, the clear human lens gradually yellows as a result of absorbing UV light to protect the retina at the back of the eye. This increasing yellowness dulls the vibrancy of color perception. This, combined with the fact that the number and sensitivity of color detecting cone cells decrease, further affects color contrast. But weirdly enough, maybe the world is just becoming less colorful. A color analysis done by the Science Museum Group suggests that the world is converging into a grayness. Take cars, for example. Compared to the 1980s, where there's an abundance of vibrant, saturated car colors, grayscale now makes up the vast majority of cars, the whites, blacks, and silvers. Same with interior design. Compared to the garish tones of the 70s and 80s, colors with shades of gray and monochromatic aesthetics are now becoming more popular.
Simply put, everything in the world is getting more and more boring. My room has a white wall. I wanted it to be pink, guys. I wanted more color in this room, but I'm renting. I don't own anything, so I can't really put a lot of personality on it. The whole world right now is kind of going against individuality. We are all following trends, and it's kind of weird to just be outside of the standard of the normal. I made a video on my other channel that just talked about pick me and how girls now are bullying other girls for going against the natural standard of being a strong, independent woman. All those things are out there in the world. A lot of people are being bullied for following trends. So we have to be in a boring world for us to exist safely in today's society. So it's not just sports, y'all. It's everything that's happening. And I just hope that we grow to adapt to understand that things will change. And the only constant in this world is change. If we don't accept it, we will be left behind. And if we do, the sky's the limit. Thank you guys for watching though. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Am I right or am I wrong? Peace out. Bye bye. Mwah.